waiting for. 1 day and 6 matches to determine who our 2025 FNCS Pro-Am champ team is going to be. And initially off the jump, Peterbot, Aussie, they've got control of Slurpee, but they've got company.
If that would have just been a Mammoth pistol right out of the gate for Peterbot, I would be worried for Bugha and TG, but now it's just a bunch of SMGs. Ozzy already found the Mammoth. He's going to go ahead and deliver that one first class on over to Peterbot as soon as he gets the chance, but they're just going to shield up, get a lot of these chests. In reload, it's about 100% chest spawn, so you got a lot of opportunity to get the loot that you need.
Keep an eye on where Allier and Mongrel are actually going to be headed. Clayx, Lacey, a little bit of pressure coming out from Veno and Reddish. And typically, you could expect that some of these POIs, you can just split them even 50-50 for the most part, but I don't think that a 50-50 clean split is the intention here.
No, I don't think it is for the most part, but because of those 100%, there's a lot of floor loot and stuff that they could split it rather safely, or you could choose to fight it later once you do get that full loadout. But I did see in the feed, typical gamer taking down Courage. Now Cypher PK is going down. So a lot of these players already just going right at it to try to get those early elimination points so they don't have to worry about a deficit later on.
And it's always rough to be one of the first players eliminated, because then you're just an open season target for the rest of the lobby. Alex, if he'd had that reload online, we might have even expected to see him fire a shot out of that Mammoth one more time, but Slurpee Swamp getting a little bit encroached upon, and this is Aussie and Peterbot's territory, but more so Peterbot's.
Everybody kind of switching things up. It does look like Seti is just away from where we thought he was going to drop initially and put himself in a 1v2 situation against Savage and Lachlan. But Savage just gets Mammoth, and I believe it was Peterbot from on top, and already he's moving in for the straight elimination. Down goes Savage as Peterbot is instantly getting busy here in game 1.
Peterbot sees action. Peterbot wants his own part of it. Finding that first elimination now means everybody else is left scrambling. Lachlan trying to escape. He knows he is on the hunt, but Peterbot, watch your back. There's more company, more targets in sight.
It's like the Peterbot hit list, and it scores 38 players, every single one. He's trying to get at least a single elimination on everybody in the game. Here in Savage getting rebooted, and these are the big warnings that we were talking about. It's just like a flare in the sky. They know exactly where you're at, and Peterbot is just on the hunt for Mr. Savage yet again, who luckily finds at least a shockwave to create just a little bit more distance.
But how far can you run when Peterbot is chasing you down like this? He still has a couple of shots, one more left inside of this Mammoth, and then it'll be up close and personal. Thunder Shotgun pulled at the ready. Savage clip, but he doesn't have enough HP to tango, and that's gonna be a knock. Another elimination for Peter. Who needs a warm-up when you've got game 1 to get things done?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody knows, but Savage kind of just helped the lobby right there, because you saw Peterbot only had one more Mammoth pistol shot left, so he's not going to be able to do that much damage from far away anymore unless he finds his loot llama in the fact of Aussie Antics to see if you have any more of those that I can borrow. Thomas HD, Somerset, just moving north from their original drop spot, and you can see they have a pretty decent loadout, but when we're looking for Thomas HD, no sniper, no Mammoth pistol, he doesn't have the firepower that we expect him to have yet.
A little bit of you take this, I'll take that from Somerset and Thomas. But Aussie, Peterbot, they're not done. Pete especially, he's just keying everybody. And Mongrel, this is a conversation starter. Peterbot annoyed even that these two would have the audacity to challenge them at Slurpee Swamp. But Peterbot, Allier nearly bringing Pete down. Pete actually gonna be forced to pull back. But Aussie, he's got the supportive measure. He knows his responsibility, and he's going to make sure that Pete is safe and sound.
And the little things, Taco, it's the little things right there for Aussie, being able to go in, sneak in. He edited the backside cover for Peterbot to safely escape and gave the shields and heals exactly what he needs in a situation like that, because it was definitely a tough spot to be in for a quick moment. But relatively early, third zone, only one tick of damage. You could still stay and stagger yourself back if you need be.
But you see Aussie play back up and then immediately goes right back to the farming. It'll be a test of endurance for those two making their way out of Slurpee Swamp. But Nikov, Hodesai, can't even classify them as a dark horse because these are two very high-tier competitors, but with the way that they're kind of trying to position right now, Jacob, it looks like they don't want to get caught up in too much of that early commotion. They'd rather prioritize the positioning.
Yeah, talking to them in the player room before it started, they're just going to play their game. They're not concerned with everybody's drop spots. They're not concerned with everybody's strategies. They're not even concerned with anybody sleeping on them. They say, hey, that's a blessing, because they're not going to see what's coming. And I think they're just focusing on prioritizing the rotation this time around. That's why they're going towards the north, but towards the eastern side of the zone is going to be gone, and Flakes, they've had a rough time. That surprise triple contestation could delay your timing so much.
And even with Baxity and Reason kind of calling out the fact, hey, we're just looking to take the dock side entirely out of Salty Docks, but Cooper made a great point. He called out that those two are eventually going to have to rotate in, and guess where they're going to have to go through? Both of these duos opposite ends, so the fight was inevitable from Salty, and it's kind of left everybody a little bit more scattered.
Take a look at this, though. Typical gamer, one of the most viewed Fortnite creators in the world right now. And he's carrying the World Cup champion Bugha 2 eliminations to 0. He has 7 crash pads, the legendary Slurp Juice. He has a very good loadout. Right now, the only real concern for them is how they're going to make their way in towards zone. They did let 1 or 2 teams already pass them on that rotation, and there's a third towards the north.
Hey, you can't sleep on TG, though. You have to remember, this is someone who's been playing alongside Quinn even out of the West region on NA, and they've been able to have some pretty strong performances. He's definitely a strong competitor. I'm excited to see how they continue to cook in this lobby, but Kanata, Ronaldo, they already got a little bit clipped, a little bit tagged up from Typical Gamer and Bugha, so they are very much aware they might be getting pressed here soon.
The Mammoth pistol is going to be in Kanata's hands. They Ronaldo, kind of that clean-up loadout. The Stinger, Kanata can land a good amount of damage with that Mammoth pistol. Whether either one of the shotgun or the SMG, he's going to be able to clean that one up easy, but they're just on the side of the mountain. A lot of teams already pressing forward in that rotation. They're just kind of biding their time. They're a team with 2 FNCS champions, by the way, on it, that know that patience is a virtue, and just being able to just slowly let other players make the mistakes that you can capitalize on.
And hey, Alex kind of carrying over that performance from yesterday's practice lobbies. Already 3 eliminations. He's definitely keeping in mind just how impactful those individual elim points will actually amount to. And he's got Gone and Flakes in his sights. Poor Nate Hill doesn't even get a chance to respond. Threw up an attempt to defend himself, but Alex just way too quick on the trigger.
And that's what we were talking about in those practice games. Alex going punch for punch with the likes of Peterbot in terms of getting simple eliminations. As we're seeing the zone, it is going to close up just a little bit, but it's a 50-50 with the whole south side being in the zone, and that's why you see Peterbot and Ozzy just trying to rotate to the north. It's not a ton of damage by any means, Taco, but you can see they're trying to save and utilize their heals for as long as possible.
And the problem is that Chug Jug that Ozzy's holding onto isn't for him. That is got Peterbot's name on it. And the longer that Aussie can hold on to that without having to actually use it on himself, probably the better off they're going to feel with these rotates. And the direction that they're headed, though, Somerset, Thomas HD, they might have an opportunity here to try and cut off some teams, play a little bit of spoiler to this edge of zone.
Yeah, loadout's looking pretty good. They got that Chug Cannon, so that's basically infinite heals. You just need the timing to let them charge up. As Cold and Courage find themselves all the way toward the north, Steamy stacks, but there's about 6 teams on this side of the map. They find themselves in the zone, though. That's a luxury they know they can count on for now.
This is still a nice readjustment in comparison to a lot of the troubles that we saw them encountering in yesterday's practice games. Courage, Cold, they'd rather bide their time. They don't actually have to throw away their positioning anytime soon, but if Regs and Nahil get a little bit too close in their space, you can expect some sparks to fly.
Yeah, and I feel like it's this point of the game, the nerves start to just get a little bit more up there because those reboots are about to turn off in Zone 7. So most of the teams have already rotated. You can see it in the minimap in close proximity of one another. So even though if you go down here, now it's the 6th zone, you will reboot, but where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna find the loot? So that's why you're seeing a lot of these teams taking it just a little bit more serious than some of the games that we saw yesterday.
Plus, you got to keep in mind, Cooper, Zemi, they were grinding all morning. They've got to be feeling very warmed up, doing nonstop 2v2s up against Kanata and stable Ronaldo. And the way that they just shockwave towards that center zone, they're bound to get caught up in a little bit of action. But Reddish, Veno, first off, they want to be the ones intervening. Gon and Blake, they've got an exchange up against Kanata. They took out Ronaldo, but Reddish and Veno, they don't want to let up any pressure. They're just going to continuously spray into where that action's taking place.
I just feel so bad for Ronaldo right now. I don't even know where he's going to end up landing, but if he can find his way back to Kanata, that will be good. And they are kind of deep in the back of the zone. This is about what are his chances, which is going to be relatively good. I don't even know how he just done it, but he did it.
And that's what you look at a former FNCS champ for, okay? Ronaldo's got his method. He's got some tricks up his sleeve. He's got a little bit of vengeance. It's typical gamer. Gon and Flakes interrupting. That's just so rude.
Just a tough spot to be in, too. He couldn't even fully stand up. He was kind of crouched down at the top of the mountain. Cooper, Zemi, honestly, leading up into this Pro-Am, this has to be one of the most predicted teams in top 5, one of the most predicted teams to actually win the FNCS Pro-Am. But hold up, Cole getting busy. Courage said they were going to take out Cypher PK. I'm not sure if he said he was going to do it himself or he's going to let Cole do it for him.
Look, who else was getting their duo bananas? Who else was getting their duo water? Courage, that's who. And it's showing off here. Cole feeling prompt and ready to go. Cypher being the first victim, and possibly many more to come.
And Cypher also in a tough spot. With Moxie being a little bit of a solo here for a few seconds. If she can buy the time, they will. And you hear that sound. Reboots are going to be disabled from here on out. If you go down, you are forced to watch the rest of the game play out. Oh!
Every player for themselves, and absolutely nobody is safe. Shockwave or crash pad, whatever direction you want to head. But you've got to keep your head on a swivel, otherwise you might lose it. As Veno so nicely showcased, but Veno and Reddish, they've still got their work cut out for them. They know there's a lot of neighbors that they don't necessarily want to be knocking on the doors of just yet. You're trying to draw as little of attention as possible.
Ooh, Ollie, I did see him kind of get targeted by a few players, dropped to a low HP. Peterbot's the one that's actually cleaning up the elimination. Points go to Bugha, loot goes to Peterbot. And that's where you're seeing a whole lot of importance as Moxie. We literally saw her go down. Now we're seeing what happens when you get rebooted a little too late, and now she is out of there.
But look at Nick and Queasy. They're already trying to come into your hype. Peterbot and Aussie, they're just going to clear out their own dead side rotate. Pete, always happy to get involved with a little bit of box-to-box fighting. And if they're not careful, though, High Ground might actually take notice of what's going on. Mongrel, barely lucky to still be alive right now. That's a rare miss from Peterbot.
And he's feeling the pressure here because this is a duo competition. But for the rest of this game, Mongrel's going to have to play it out as a solo. And I think Peterbot sees the weakness. He's getting the green light, but shots come in. They spray the cover. Really forced them to kind of rethink that strategy there for that quick moment. And that's saving Mongrel. He doesn't even know how he just got blessed, but on a High Ground, you know him, you love him. It's Queasy, it's Nick F30, and hopefully this time around they can hold on to their High Ground.
The zone pulling over this hillside has just completely set Queasy and Nick in an optimal position, but you always have to be careful because High Ground can be challenged at any given moment, and Queasy is fully aware of that factor. He's already caught a glimpse of Shota and Koyota on that secondary height, but teams are on the move. They're trying to control that front side low, and Podesai, Nikov, waiting for the perfect moment to strike.
Yeah, he has to let that legendary Slurp juice get his HP and shield back up, because if he were to go now, one Mammoth Pistol will definitely do him in. But now the crash pad's going out. They're just simply trying to make their way to the front side of the gun. Clicks and Lacey, same thing as Cold finds himself with another elimination. That's one each for Courage and Cold. He promised one banana means one elimination, and he kept that promise right here.
All that potassium helping counteract those back cramps. Courage, he's coming alive. Somebody throw out the time machine for this man. But Nick, Queasy, still up on the high ground, still trying to prevent anybody in these lower layers. And Reddish, Veno caught up in a little bit more of the mix-up than what they were hoping for. But it's Vaxity who's on the back heel. Vaxity gonna be forced to just shockwave away. Cold though, he just lost Courage, but it doesn't matter because Koyota is down for the count.
It's a different level of flexibility when you're playing as a solo. No, you now have to be careful anymore as Ozzy gets caught out as well. Cole just taking names and checking them off that list one at a time, but there's no siphon. He needs the HP, and he found Peter Bot's Chug Jug.
That's all that Cole needed. He just wanted all of the material, all of the opportunities that Ozzy was able to provide off that body loop. But Nick, Queasy, they're still intact. They're still fully in control of this high ground. Clix and Lacey might be hoping to try and counteract this, but from the secondary high position, they still got to deal with these teams on low. Queasy and Nick, they're not letting up either. Alex doing what he can to fend for himself on the backside, but Nikov, Podesai immediately shockwaving towards the front side low. They're waiting. They're hoping that somebody is going to run into one of their pre-edits.
There are 15 teams still alive. Placement points have not touched this lobby just yet. It's all eliminations all the way as Cold is looking for another one. Savage, weak as can be on the other side. Lachlan's there as well. Shockwave from Kanata causing a little bit of destruction and confusion as Cold is simply on the hunt. An opportunity there, but he misses out. But Zemi's going to steal that one away as Peterbot is struggling to get out of the box, but they send him back to the lobby anyway.
And Queasy, the lone man on height, he's going to try and just make sure that he's got it as long as possible. Clix and Lacey, though, all the way in the bottom field, they are making sure that nobody can challenge their current position. Clix creating so much space. Lacey, all that bot reviewing from last night, buddy. It's kicking in now. Queasy going to be dropped down into the heart of the action, and now Clix, Lacey, they might actually do this.
He finds his former teammate, Veno, the 6 out of 12, as he lands another shot, but he gets Shockwave out of zone, quickly uses his, finds his way back, 0 builds left, but on the high ground, it's his EU competition. He goes for a play, but gets set right back down. Nikov, Podesai, 4 eliminations, they're in control.
And they absolutely blocked off Queasy's attempt to actually catapult himself back up the high ground. Clix, Lacey, they're just too tangled up. It's only going to be Clix that manages to finagle his way out of here, but he's going to shockwave up. He sees Podesai, but he's a target. But Podesai's been sent packing. It's only Nikov, the other half of the Gentlemates, to keep this one alive.
There's one duo left in this game, and it's Cooper and Zemi. Everybody else is solos as Queasy's trying to go for the heal off. The Chug Jug backside of the zone. He barely gets it off in time, but Cooper and Zemi, they have the Chug Cannon. Infinite heals as long as they have the time. Queasy drops down from above, but it's only a short stint. He doesn't want to go ahead and stay there for too long as Nikov goes down. 2v1 situation. If anybody can do it, it has to be Queasy.
But Queasy's just outnumbered. Cooper and Zemi are gonna strike first. Victory Royale. And this is the moment they want to keep that momentum building.
They won the last game of the practice games yesterday. They held on to that momentum. They held on to that confidence. And they fired off here in game 1. Let's go and see how they're feeling with Frankie.
All right, guys. Congratulations. Gale and Center, give it up for your Victory Royale winners. Cooper, you knew that he had it in him. He's been practicing for this moment, but did you think straight out the gate you'd be picking up the first Victory Royale?
100%. I mean, we're going to win this whole thing. I'm with the best teammate here. I'm feeling super confident. IGLing feels good. I'm feeling great.
All eyes were on Queasy and the high ground, but you guys were just staking things out on the low ground. Talk me through that end game.
Yeah, I mean, end game we looked at high ground. We saw they're very established. Cooper called it to go low ground. I was on him the whole time. He was calling it, and I was just trying to get kills, give him everything he needs, and it worked out.
It really did work out. Do you think you need to change things up now to keep people guessing in the lobby?
No, I mean, we might change things. We might not. I don't know, but all I know is we're gonna win more.
Well, all eyes are gonna be on you. Cooper, after game 1, we've got the eye test now. Who do you think is the biggest competition here?
I mean, I don't got any competition here, honestly. I think we're miles ahead of everyone. We just stay consistent, stay confident. No one's beating me here.
All right then, guys. Please give it up one more time. Cooper and Zemi! What a way to kick things off here in Los Angeles. We'll be right back after this break.